They had another guy that was really good that went to Texas A&M, played corner. It was a really good team. So.
Do you remember anything about him when he was
Levante he averaged like 20 tackles a game. They went to Nebraska, kind of just always followed him, was always super productive. But yeah, they had a really good team. They had a really good defense, a lot of good players. So when you played against a lot of those guys in junior college, you kind of keep track of a lot of them and just watch them as they go through college.
As you go through your week, do you always plan just as part of your routine for a backup? I mean, do you always have a plan that you're working just in case, or is this a different week for you?
No, I mean, we've been through this where we're not sure of Trevor's status going into a game. So we always kind of put together a plan that I think fits both guys and a lot of things, just the way they play quarterback. Now, they have different skill sets, and so you may feature different things based on the timing of the way they get the ball out, their movement skills, different things like that, that maybe you feature one way or the other. But I think it's not as probably chaotic as people would think of just, he's a quarterback. They both operate really well from the pocket, the things we want to do, the things they see well, and then utilizing the guys around them is a big part of it.
The guys around them, do you have to say anything this week, or do these guys just intrinsically know that they've got to make every block, make every catch, they've got to help him? Is that they're just pros, they get it, or do you say it?
No, there's not much else you need to say. I mean, we want to go out every single day, every single week, and operate each play to the best of our ability. So you don't need to put any more on anything based on who's playing quarterback or wherever anybody is at any point in time. Yeah.
If Zay can't go this week, what receivers are you looking for to step up?
It's a rotation of everybody. I mean, really going into the tight end room, the running back room, of each personnel grouping on each play is specific to who we think does each thing well. You'll lean on a little bit more of Ag, Tim, Elijah, Parker, that kind of rotation of young guys stepping into their role. Ideally, getting Brenton back healthy would help us out. Luke has continued to come on in all aspects of the game. So, it's kind of by committee of everybody stepping in and filling those roles. That's kind of what you expect week to week in the NFL anyways.
I know you said it's by committee, but Calvin, just are you guys going to need him to be that best version of him, the guy that you guys see on tape and he shows flashes of?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Calvin and Evan, obviously, the mainstays that have continued to stay healthy and be available to us, and we'll do everything we can to utilize our best players all the time.
Doug said yesterday, just different combinations and different faces on the offensive line you think has played a big part into the run game. How big of that is a factor to you, just the continuity along that line?
Yeah, I think that's a big part. I think having comfort of who you're playing next to, how they communicate, how you guys play together is a factor. But at the same time, we expect whoever is in there and whatever combination of guys to produce, play well, communicate effectively, do their job at a high level. We got to continue to put them in the best possible position to do that.
And then CJ said yesterday, him and Trevor like a lot of the same things, and he didn't think that would mean having to overhaul a lot of stuff. To you as a play caller and just putting together a game plan, how helpful is that to you, just if they, kind of operate the same type of way?
That's a big deal. I mean, obviously we spend a lot of time in that room talking through the entire plan. So we've been doing this now for 2 years, of building plans, talking through concepts all the time, from training camp, all that. So good feel for what they each like individually, but then both like collectively. And I think a lot of it's too conversation about using the pieces around you of this guy does this really well, I'm confident in this, how he runs this, how he sees this. So it's putting guys in that position, and then regardless of the quarterback, they both kind of they think very similar in that aspect, and I think that's part of what he was getting at.
18 different teams have started multiple quarterbacks so far this year. How rare is that to you, just as an offensive guy sitting around the league, so many backups have to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just commonplace. We see the speed and the power of these defensive guys, and guys tend to get hurt. I mean, that's just how the game goes, whatever it may be. So the next guy's always ready. I don't know the numbers-wise, if it's more or less. It probably feels like a lot more in terms of just starts, but I think you see a lot of guys come in and play well as well.
What's the calling card of a Todd Bowles defense?
Pressure. I mean, it's the same thing you see with our defense. There's 5 on the line. There's 5 guys pressuring a lot of times, and depending on where that 5th guy's coming from, or the other 2 coming from, guys dropping out. But there's a lot of loaded boxes that are really good against the run. This defense particularly has been really good for a pretty long time since Coach Bowles has been there. Doing a good job crowding the line, stopping the run, making things hard, identifying pressure, picking up pressure. They do a really good job. It's not an easy task.
Does it help at All that it has the similarities to the defense you've seen throughout training camp and during practice?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain elements that our guys aren't unfamiliar with, the five-man fronts and the different things they get to. So there's some of that I do think helps. And, that's one of the things we always talk about in the offseason of we weren't going to see a three-down front until we played Pittsburgh week 8, week 9. So there's some of it where you're dealing with training camp offseason of, all right, how's this going to help us for the beginning of the season? Well, now it's going to help us as we get into these fronts now that we want to play the 3-4 and play the five-man fronts early on. Now it's hopefully it benefits what we've been seeing for a spring and a camp, or 2 springs and 2 camps now.
There have been some turnovers in scoring position that have plagued the offense all season long. How do you get rid of those mistakes? I mean, you're deep into the season. Is there a way to, I guess, reemphasize trying to not to have those show up on the field?
I mean, we feel like we're doing everything possible to emphasize the importance of ball security. Things are going to happen. We understand that. We also understand how important it is when you're in scoring position to leave with points. And we want to end every drive with a kick. We've tried to say it every way possible. I think our guys understand the importance of it, but, that's got to show up. And we got to continue to work to protect the football and do a better job of that.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks,
Appreciate it,
Bryce.
Bryce. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Any extra feelings going back to Tampa?
No, I'm excited. Get another chance to go out and get back on track. That's the thing. Last few weeks haven't been good for us, so it's a good opportunity to go back out there. But see a bunch of good faces down there, friendly faces, and it'll be good to be back in that stadium. But at the end of the day, it's all about us trying to get a victory.
You probably got a close-up look at Mike Evans and the work that he does and just how consistent he is. Now that you're going to have to face him, what type of – I don't even know. He's so consistent. He has 1,000 yards every season he's played. Just what goes into that, I guess?
He's a talent, and he really works hard. Big guy, sneaky fast, and like you're saying, he's consistent. He takes the top off of defenses. He goes up and competes for the ball, and he's a guy he's a playmaker. He's a number one that you really have to account for. I saw it firsthand, and he gets it done. So it'll be a good challenge for us.
What have you thought about Baker Mayfield this year?
From what I've watched lately, he's really playing at a high level. He's getting the ball where it's supposed to go. He's making plays for him. He really throws the seam ball really, really well. And I think the guys believe in him. You see him a 3rd and 2. Instead of sliding, he takes on the linebacker. He kind of energizes the team that way. I think he was that same way, Texas A&M, and, he's still doing that, and that team believes in him, and they're playing for him.
What did maybe you learn the most from Todd, and what did he mean to your career?
He's been special for me in my career. He's a great friend, and, just when we first got together, it was funny because we looked at defense the same way as far as secondary-wise. And then being with him so long, kind of just looking at how he sees the game and kind of that influenced how I kind of see the game. And then the other guys that I've coached under or coached for, he was one of the ones that really, I guess, took me under his wing, just being with him for so long, understanding how to look at a defense, how to take away something from an offense. And, just being multiple, I've kind of put my own imprint on the defense. But he's been a big factor in just me getting this far and getting where I'm at.
With some of the injuries you're going to be getting, looks like you might have a couple of guys on track to play this week that haven't been out there for a few weeks. You had some communication issues a few weeks ago. Looked like they've kind of shored those up. When you start getting guys back on the field and changing that lineup again, how does that impact, I guess, the progress you made maybe?
As a defense, we talked about it, and I think we were better this last week, but there's still room to improve. And, whoever's in there playing, they have to understand that communication is going to be big for us. I thought the crowd was great last week, and it helped us out. And it was loud, and we improved. So now we get to go to a stadium where it'll be loud on the offense, and hopefully it won't be, loud for us. And we'll be able to get our communication down pat.
Are you starting to see Antonio get more comfortable, more confident the more he's playing?
Oh, definitely. I think the more you get out there, he's understanding our scheme a little bit more, and he trusts his ability. And he's a guy that he's long, he's a great tackler, and he wants to play. And he's making plays, and it's helping us.
Has Trayvon Walker been taking another step the past few games?
I think it's starting to show a little bit more with his pressure on the quarterback, getting the guy down last week. But run game wise, he's still doing what he does in the run game. But pass game wise, he's still starting to show, and it's starting to show up a little bit more. And he'll continue to get better. Weekly, whoever he rushes against, he'll have a plan for him and go out there and execute it.
On Monday, Josh said he felt like Trayvon could still be better. When you have a leader on your defense that's able to realize the growth of Trayvon or any player on the defense, but still hold them accountable to keep striving for more, just how helpful is that for you as a coach?
It's really helpful because, at the end of the day, as coaches, we have an influence on the players, but your peers have more of an influence. I like to say they police themselves, and we ask a lot of them as coaches, but when you have a fellow player that tells you you can give more, that you can do more, that really stands out because we're all about accountability. If you can be accountable to yourself and to your teammate, that's huge for us. And Josh being able to step up like that and showing that he cares about Trayvon enough to want more from him, that's big, and that's the culture we have around here.
Do you want to see Josh get the franchise single season sack record? Have you thought about that at all?
I haven't thought about it as far as me, as far as our defense, but I want to see Josh perform for Josh, and he's doing that now. I wish he would have got it last week. It's time for him to get it. I told him, don't wait. Let's go and get it out of the way. And, hopefully he gets it early. And, once that happens, I'll be happy for him. But at the end of the day, he understands that's something special for him. But getting the victory will mean more to him, I think.
Perfect. Thanks, Coach.